thanks for tuning back into the channel. Today I've got a question from a subscriber that I want to talk about regarding post-front conditions and what's the best approach to take to maximize your productivity on the water. Before I get into that, I just want to remind each of you to subscribe to the channel, which then gets you entered into my monthly prize drawings. We always have a Bridgeford beef jerky prize package that I give away every month, but I've also been giving away tackle from Berkeley, tackle from Dirty Jigs, some apparel from Striker, all different things I've given away, Abu Garcia reels. So it's if you enjoy watching the channel, guys, it's worth subscribing just to make sure that you are then entered into my monthly giveaways. It gives you a chance to win some free stuff. So to get back into the question, it was specifically, how do I approach post-front conditions? They've been having trouble catching fish during that period, which I think most of us do, because it is, in my opinion, the worst time to fish. You know, I'm talking about the days where you get, a cold front comes through, you may have had some good storms, and then a day or two later, you get those high bluebird skies, just those high pressure days. The fish are really inactive. It just is not a good period to fish. But sometimes you don't have the opportunity to say, hey, I can't go fishing today, or I want to go fishing today. You might have one day off of work, so you want to go, and you just got to deal with it. So what's the best way to approach it? Well, first, I just want to mention a couple of things. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know that there are some baits that I don't like to use during post-front conditions. Top waters, jerk baits, anything really that is up in the water column, I think you should not start with. My personal opinion is a lot of the fish in those high pressure days drop to the bottom. And if they did not drop to the bottom, they're still suspended, but those are the most inactive fish and the hardest fish to catch anyways. So you're better off dropping to the bottom and trying to catch those fish that are on the bottom. So in the high pressure days, what a lot of those fish will do is bury themselves into cover or go a little deeper in the water column. I think the fish just are less affected by high pressure days the deeper they go. That's my opinion. I don't know if there's any scientific evidence that supports that, but I think the deeper those fish are, the more they're pressurized based on being in the water, and therefore they're less affected by high pressure days. And those fish then are more active or easily caught. More easily not caught. Not necessarily easily caught, but easier than catching the fish higher up. Anyways, so because of that, I think you want to target one of two things. You want to fish deeper, or you want to fish tighter in the thickest cover you can find. So I've got a couple of baits here just to kind of talk about what I mean. The first is to fish in the thickest cover you can find. So if you've got heavy weed, milfoil, heavy clumps, they'll get buried up inside that. If you've got some good log jams, they'll be tied, right tight to that cover. And at that point, you're looking at fishing like a jig. This is just a Scott Canterbury flipping jig by Dirty Jigs. It's a great, great tool for high pressure days when you're fishing around wood or lay down stumps. It's a great one for grass too, because it's got the parallel line tie to the hook, so it comes through grass really well. Just a great bait. A jig is a great bait, high pressure days. You work it slow, work it super tight to the cover. That will generate some bites for you. If they're buried up in the grass, that's when you want to go with like some sort of stick worm. It's not necessarily has to be punchable grass, like matted out. Just the thicker grass that you can find. You can Texas rig this, and it goes through the grass really well. I love the generals, but really just whatever your favorite stick bait is what I would recommend. Or just pitching some sort of Texas rig into the grass clumps, because those fish will get buried down inside of it. And the key with both of those, whether you're fishing grass or some laydowns or wood, is you need to really hit them on the head, which is why you want to fish really tight to the cover and in the thickest the thickest stuff you can find. You want to work it slow, and you're just trying to bop them on the head. I don't think they're going to chase your bait. So if you miss the grass clump or you miss the log by several feet, you're probably not going to get bit. But if you really work that cover over, those fish will be buried in there and you can get them to bite. So that's the number one thing. The second option would be to go deeper and to fish on the bottom. You know, like I said before, I don't feel like those fish are going to be willing to come up and chase a jerk bait or a swim bait, topwaters, things over their head. You want to bring baits down to their level. And that's where, you know, throwing like a shaky head is definitely a great bait. You know, you want to, whatever you choose to throw, you want to either have something that you can really drag slowly to really keep in front of their face, or you want to generate a little bit of a reaction strike. So in my opinion, a shaky head is great. A wacky rig is a great choice. And a Carolina rig. Guys, a Carolina rig is something that will get it down there and keep it down in their face. And my other option then would be to switch over to a crankbait. You know, depending on what depth you're fishing, this is a Fritz side. This bait is the 7, so it runs down to about 7 foot. Obviously, if you're fishing 15 feet of water, you go with a deeper running crankbait. But the key is you need a crankbait that will run hard on the bottom. You don't want to be just clipping the bottom. I recommend something that will that's oversized in terms of depth. If you're fishing 10 foot, you probably want to pick a bait that runs a good 14 feet because you really want to be grinding the bottom, and you want to be reeling fast and jerking it and getting a lot of different erratic motion out of your bait, which will generate reaction strikes out of those fish. You know, the fish are going to eat regardless if you can generate a reaction strike. So regardless of it being a high pressure day, you can still trigger those fish into biting. It's up to you to make sure that that bait is pounding the bottom, going fast, lots of stops, you know, just high speed retrieve, stop it, kill it, twitch it, burn it again. You're just trying to create that reaction strike by really moving the bait along the bottom. And, you know, it's just, you got to get those fish to bite. So you either got to keep it in front of their face or you got to rip something by in front of them. The other good option for fishing deep is just a football head jig. Football head jigs, again, will allow you to fish through cover, through rocks. It's weedless, and it's something you can just soak in front of them. So if you've got some brush piles, some deep brush piles are great baits in high pressure days. You can get that bait down inside that brush pile and get those fish to bite. But that's really what it comes down to, guys. You know, I don't know that the fish are going to vacate areas. I think they just will gravitate to either items in that area that are good places for them to kind of just hang out, like logs and deep, you know, and weeds. Or if the fish are deeper, you know, they're probably going to be dropping down to the bottom. And at that point, that's when you want to fish your bottom baits. So I hope that was helpful, guys. I don't think they leave the areas. You just got to adapt to what you're doing. You got to make sure that you're soaking the area. I mean, if you think you've got an area that's got fish, slow down and just kind of take your time, and you'll get some of those fish to bite. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Post-front conditions, never fun period to fish, but like I said before, sometimes you just got to take the days that you get. And, you know, those are the days that make you better fishermen too. Because if you can find them on a post-front day, if you can get some, you know, a good grouped up fish, it's probably even a better spot on a good day. So it's just something to keep in mind. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. New videos coming out every day. Stay tuned. We got a good one coming out tomorrow too.